Okay, so we can move on to Cecelia, who is going to be played by Elena Sanchez. She's on Twitter at @TheElenaSanchez. She also has a background in stunts, and in fact, she has a YouTube channel. Her YouTube username is, I believe, @TheElenaSanchez, and she has a stunt reel up, which is pretty fabulous. She kicks some serious ass, and just really, really impressive. Oh, and one other interesting thing about her, she has a degree from Cornell. Who can remember which other cast member has a degree from Cornell? You will win something. Does anyone remember? Anyone on Twitter, who remembers which other actor has a degree from Cornell? Wow. I'm ashamed.
I'm going to go with Philip Seymour Hoffman.
No. Here's a hint.
Somebody from the first?
Huh?
I said, was it somebody who was in the first movie?
No, it's a new cast member, and it's a female. Those are your hints.
Oh, damn. I was going to say Tennessee the Cat, but that's out on a couple of cats.
Two people on Twitter got it. JJ Watching and Phillips Hunter. It is Meta Golding, who is playing Ina Baria.
Oh, wow. Oh, right.
So maybe they were Cornell buddies, Cecelia and Ina Baria. We don't know. The only other info that I could find on Elena Sanchez is that she was a competitive gymnast for 16 years, which is pretty cool. So, Crystal, you mentioned that you thought you pictured Cecelia to look more like Yvette Lee Sanchez, who is playing the District 5 female victor. That aside, are you still pretty satisfied with Elena Sanchez?
Yeah, I mean, her role is pretty small. I mean, we only see her in the her reaping very briefly, right? And then she dies in the bloodbath. I remember being kind of sad about that because I thought, oh, her poor kid. But yeah, since she was in the casting dump, I think they're not even going to show her reaping. So, I mean, I know that sounds rude, but I mean, for what her role is, I think she looks fine. So.
A few people have expressed concern that she looks too young to be the mother of several small children. Theresa, you're a mother, so you're an expert on mothers. Does Elena Sanchez look too young to have small children?
No, she actually looks older than my coworker who is due to have her fourth baby any day. So, I mean, you can have, I mean, depending on when you start having kids, I mean, but it doesn't matter. I think, you can look as young as you want to look when you have the kids. So you take care of yourself. But I think she could be the mother of 3 kids. I mean, they're small kids anyway. So, I mean, it's not like she's got a 16-year-old or, I mean, right. She's got, her kids are tiny, so it's almost like a one right after the other type thing. So definitely.
Right.
How old is she actually? Do you know how old she is?
I don't know. I could not find that information.
I mean, she looks 30 to me, and it's not like 30 is ancient. I mean, no. I know kids think that 30 is super old, and sorry, I'm 33, but I don't think I look like I'm super old.
You look a lot like Lynn Cohen to me, actually.
Really?
I'm obviously kidding. I think that Elena Sanchez, she's the type of woman who I think can look like 25 or 35, depending on how she's styled. And if you look at some of her YouTube videos that she's uploaded, she looks younger, or she looks older at certain moments. So I'm not concerned. I wish that I don't know, I don't want to get too picky this far in advance of the film's release, but I really wish that we would, I kind of want to see her reaping. Does anyone else feel the same way, that you wish they'd show that reaping? Like even just like a tiny glimpse.
Just a tiny glimpse. It wouldn't be hard to do.
I would love to see like what Katniss sees. Like maybe we see glimpses on a TV screen that Katniss is watching, or even that someone else is watching, and we see kind of like, just a brief shot of Cecelia being sort of dragged away from her children, and then we could see a brief shot of Mags volunteering for Annie. I know that a lot of fans are really hoping that the District 4 reaping is featured. I feel like it won't be. So maybe if I'm just pessimistic, then I'll be pleasantly surprised if it is included.
Well, they could do some. They could do something along the lines of with Caesar and Claudius, talking doing something like that where they're recapping, talking about their favorite victors or their favorite reaping moments or something from
right.
from since it's so since it's so big and it supposedly affects the Capitol so much to have all these favorite people back. I mean, in all honesty, they wouldn't even have to necessarily identify who where the reapings were from. Just little glimpses of, to have us realize, these aren't just, it's bad enough the kids, but, these are people, some of these people have families and how, the Capitol is affecting them their whole lives. So, like I said, they wouldn't have to identify them. They could just do a flash, here, there, like a little montage type thing with even Caesar talking over the top of it or something like that if they wanted to.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And, if they haven't cast Annie, I think they could get away with just showing the back of a brunette's head or something like that. We wouldn't actually have to see her. But I think fans, that's like one of those little details that would be so easy to include. It wouldn't take up any time at all. And, it's something that fans would really, really appreciate. So, I don't know. I'll cross my fingers and, hope for the best. Okay, any final comments on Cecelia? I keep thinking of that old song. Does anyone know what I'm talking about?
About Cecelia?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How does it? It's like, Cecelia, you're breaking my heart.
Oh, wait, I think I have heard that song.
Daily. Oh, that was lovely. Okay. So, moving on. Do you guys remember, a month ago when I predicted we would get Woof the next day, and I kept predicting it would be Woof? Well, we finally
You
got
were big on Woof.
Woof is very important to me. Well, we finally got Woof, and he is being played by John Casino, and this is from his IMDb page. John is a personal friend and stunt double of Kurt Russell since August 1988. Wow, that's amazing. And he has a massive list of stunt credits. If you go to IMDb, look up John Casino, and there are at least 100 films listed that he's done stunts for. So he's a bit like James Logan, he's been doing stunts just for forever. So good addition to the cast. How do we feel? Sarah, does he look like the Woof you always imagined?
You're assuming I always imagined Woof.
Yes.
I'm impressed by his, resume, but I don't know. I feel like with all of these, the kind of purge of tributes we got, for the most part, they're all so minor in comparison to the grander story that I don't know. I feel kind of almost the way Lionsgate did in kind of releasing them man, here's the rest of them. Okay, there's the rest of them. I don't know. Maybe that's really bad for me to say, but.
I don't think it's your fault. I feel like we can blame Lionsgate for that because they lost momentum when they stopped doing the daily or even weekly announcements. So I definitely felt the same way. It was, I don't know. I sort of had to...
Yeah, I forget who it was who said earlier something about, casting fatigue. I totally felt that way. I was almost kind of relieved when they just released all of the last ones in one go because I was like, okay, I can be done waiting for those. Yeah. I don't know.
I was also relieved because, I don't know, I was starting to get paranoid. I don't know. I was thinking maybe they would never tell us who they were or something, which is ridiculous. But any thoughts or feelings about Woof, about John Casino?
I like his last name. I think Casino is a really awesome last name to have for anybody.
Well, I know that you're a huge diehard Kurt Russell fan, so I was just going to ask you how you feel knowing that his stunt double is in this movie.
I feel I am a fan. I don't know if I would go to the extent of diehard. That might be a little bit extreme, but I am a fan of his. And I think it's really awesome, and I'm pretty stoked. I think when you look down the list and the faces, they seem to have a pretty decent background for this level of role, and maybe we don't know exactly how great they are as actors and actresses, but they seem like they would be competent choices, and they certainly look the part, or easily look the part. So I don't know. I'm really inclined not just to say to give them the benefit of the doubt. I really feel optimistic that they're all going to be good. And I just go back to the first film where I really liked how they all turned out. The lesser tributes were fine. The ones who were played more significant roles, they were great. And I just think we should expect that again from this group. And until we see evidence that we should be worried, I'm feeling pretty relaxed and calm about it. So yeah, I like them all, including especially the stunt double of Kurt Russell.